That's kind of what I heard somebody on the podcast say, was that they move flat and like mathematically jerky kind of. And so I forgot until like last week when I saw it again. I was like, oh yeah, they do that sometimes, that as they leave, they almost like freeze, like they've been photographed.
Good day, Mr. Jim. So, wait, hello? Okay, I hope, wait. Sorry, I'm having problems with my microphone because it cuts in and out of my headphone. That's whatever. Anyways, I've taken a video and a couple of pictures for you of my friend, of my scary little haunted little friend. Hello? Hi, see, the issue that I'm having is, oh my god. The picture that I took, it has eyes, I think I fucked up. I think I should have left it alone. And how did it get there? Jim? Then there's something else in the fucking house. We're not talking about, the fairies and the Tinkerbells and fucking, we're talking about like there's something in the house. I put it there in the first.
You'll see why I can't talk about it. Okay, so anyway, I'm listening to your podcast. You're just gonna laugh, but look at the order of how things happened today, and you're just gonna be, yep, I know who the motherfucker is who is doing these things.
Okay, sure. Yeah, she goes, hey Jane, like fuck that. This bitch calling a ghost a bitch is crazy. She goes, this bitch doesn't have any feet, all right? And I'm like, what do you mean this bitch doesn't have any feet? She goes, that ghost doesn't have any feet. Fucking jump on the gas. We're jumping on the gas and we're both like mortified. I cannot explain the kind of feeling in that moment.
Yes, and many children see them too. About 75% of the world's children today are being born with etheric vision. And when your children talk with people and have daydream playmates, the chances are they are actually speaking to some of these people. Because these angels or angelic forces or nature spirits, as they're often called, will often make themselves seen.
And all of a sudden I hear him go, whoa, or, something like that. So I look up, and as I look up, I see this thing.
And I said, I've never seen a butterfly like you before.
I know that the paranormal is real. Listen.
As soon as I spoke to it, it turns around and makes eye contact with me. And then it stands upright.
And it was at that moment that I saw it was like an orange light appear above this row of trees. And from this sort of orange light, this thing appeared. Its wings were actually like sycamore leaf shaped.
And I started talking to them. I'm like, hi, are y'all the dwarves? And I would hear whispers that would say, hi, yeah, you want to play? And it wasn't just my imagination. And I had told them, I'm like, my dwarves, they like beer, And my dad's like, yeah, sure, your dwarves like beer. And they were holding a conversation in his beer. slid upwards instead of downwards, how the house was tilted. And him and my brothers jumped up.
So I stopped calling out Adam, and I'm just kind of, my mind draws a blank, and I stop behind that tree stump. I'm pretty close to it now because I took a few steps forward, and I see this thing.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
Okay, cool. I think,
Hello?
yeah, I got you there. Sorry, that was just a little strange. We're good. So just a second here. I want to make sure that I've got your audio. Can you just say hello again, please?
Hello?
Okay, you're great. And then I'm just going to make sure I've got me. Check, check. There we go. Okay. So, I'm going to call you Mary Jane Doe for the purposes of the podcast, just from the United States. No problem at all.
Right. Yeah.
Personally, I'll just do 2 or 3 moments of briefing because I want to pretty much just get right out of your way and let you start telling me what just happened. So basically, the format of the show is that I bring people on. I say a little bit at the beginning to help build comfort and explain that this show is not here to convince anybody of anything, which it's not. It's just here to collect these incredible firsthand encounter stories. Also, just for you personally, this is all offline talk here. I saw a purple fairy about the size of a softball with wings. It came into the boat that I was in 2019, right through the glass. It was so fucking fast. It was so bright. It was a whole lot. And it then proceeded to fly out. And I was with another person. And that's why I started this show, because I could not shake what I had seen. So that's who you're talking to, just for some comfort, okay? Also, I basically don't like to interrupt my guests very much at all once they get into talking about what they're talking about. However, when you're done, or if there's any moment where like naturally, you're done saying what you're saying, I will jump in and talk with you and ask questions. I only ask questions out of curiosity. There are 0 gotcha moments on this show. It's not like that. I believe people. I want people to come forward in honesty and tell me what they saw, whatever it was. And also, just finish by saying, when we get towards the end of the show, I'll ask you as the guest to offer your last words, but we won't actually be hanging up then. That'll just be where I edit. So that's the only briefings I want to give you, unless you had any questions for me.
Okay, that's awesome. That's very thorough. Thank you. Yeah, I think we're good to go.
Okay. Well, without further ado, I'm going to bring you on the show then.
Oh, one last question. Is there any no one's gonna see my my Instagram profile? I'm just Mary Jane.
You're just Mary Jane. I would never divulge the name of a guest. The philosophy of the show is kind of like this. My full name is James Whitehead. You can see my stuff on my page there that I sent you. I have a pretty successful background. I'm a public figure here in Canada where I live. I saw that fairy, and I'm not afraid to tell people that I saw it. However, I am extremely aware of the sensitive nature of claiming that you've seen a fairy and the relationship that might have to all sorts of aspects of a person's life. So for that reason, I am the name. I'm James Whitehead. I saw a fairy. I started this show. That's why people can be as anonymous as they choose, because I am walking the plank, so to speak, in terms of like, well, if you need somebody to like, you know, because I'm you can look me up. So that's basically the philosophy of the show. And I truly bring on at least, I don't know, 80% of my guests anonymously or under an assumed name. It's not about that. It's about collecting the stories and hearing the voice, which carries the emotion and the truth. It doesn't really matter what a person's name is, in fact, when you're talking about this subject matter. Also, like this, when you see one, they're so fast. They're so, it's just, anyway, I can't wait to hear what you've seen. But when you're done telling me what you've seen, after I've listened to you intently, I will also hopefully maybe be able to offer some insights as well as asking questions, because I've also seen one of these fucking things. Also, I smoke a ton of pot. I used to own cannabis dispensaries. So talk about pot, mushrooms, swearing, all that stuff's fine. Don't worry about that at all. The audience is fully on board with whatever comes out of a person's mouth, so long as it's that person's truth. And really, you know, with editing, we can also take little breaks if you have to take a piss or something like that. It's all good. So it's a pretty comfortable environment to tell me your stuff, really, at the end of the day.
Awesome. Okay. Sure thing. I'm ready.
Cool. Okay. So I'll just do my intro. Usually I take a quick break so I can identify where to edit, but we've only talked for 6 minutes, so I'll just be able to remember that. Welcome everybody tonight to Fascinating Fae. Tonight we're traveling to the United States. I'm going to do that over again. I'm a little excited because I know you've just encountered your thing, so let me back up. I'm just a person too, so don't feel nervous. I'm as nervous as you are. And I've been doing this for 7 months, but whenever I hear someone's fairy story, they're so exciting, so forgive me. Oh, well, geez, there goes my owl hooting away. So,
oh my gosh, I know I can't hear anything. You're good.
No problem. There's an owl who lives outside my condominium and is kind of the mascot for this show, and she just hooted to signal that it's the real start of the show now. So here we go. Welcome everybody tonight to Fascinating Fae. Tonight we're traveling to the United States to talk with Jane. Jane, how are things tonight in the USA?
Things are a little freaky. I think it's spooky season and it's getting real spicy over here in the States, you know.
Well, here on Fascinating Fae, we love to hear that kind of answer when myself as the host gets the pleasure of asking the guest how they're feeling tonight. I will briefly segue in this intro process by saying the following few things before we bring you on here tonight, Jane. And thanks for letting me know that you're feeling freaky and spooky. This may be a first, I think, overall for fairy podcasts, because I'm a pretty big fairy podcast consumer, and I don't think I've encountered this. Jane has just tonight encountered something. And so there's a really cool flow of events that's brought Jane to this episode here tonight. And so I just want to thank you, first of all, for whomever or whatever, conspired to make that the case, because I'm really excited to hear your story. So thank you, first of all, for being brave enough to come on. I really appreciate that. I say that pretty much to all of my guests. It does take some bravery to talk about this fairy stuff, because if I myself were to tell my fairy story here tonight, I would sound incredible. I would get excited. I would just sound difficult to potentially contextualize as I struggled to give voice to what I had encountered. So I have a lot of empathy for people, and that's kind of the framework of the show. The only other things I would say tonight is that we don't try to convince people of anything here. As your host, I'm just here to kind of create a safe and protective environment for these stories to come forward. I believe people, and we're here to just share what happened because it's pretty mind-blowing when this stuff goes down. So with all that said, and with that caveat, hopefully, resting firmly in your heart, and as you go to allow me and the audience to listen and receive here tonight, I'll just finish by saying, just walk us into what happened tonight, what was going on beforehand, and then what happened. No rush. Let's get into it, please.
Awesome. So, I guess I can start by saying, well, so, I'm from New York City, or, New York City, and I got an opportunity to stay in a art residency. So I'm sorry, I'm just trying to gather my thoughts because it's so much at once. And side note, I really came onto this podcast that I found, and I'll get to how I found it. Really, one, to archive that this just fucking happened to me, and two, to get a little bit of information on this thing and on this phenomenon, because I'm someone who comes from like anyone, right? You eat shit, you go to bed, you work, like someone who's very, regular, ordinary, and then something like this just happens out of like fucking no. I'm still in shock. I'm sorry. So anyways, I'm in this art residency. I'm in the mountains. I don't want to say which state, I don't want to say which residency, but I'm out in the Appalachian Mountains. Maybe that's why. I'm here for 2 weeks. I've been here since Saturday. So I know the facilities at this point pretty well. And you get to middle of the mountains, little town. And yeah, you kind of you feel a little spooky. I felt a little, creepy. Excuse me. Creepy, crawly a little bit, being in this house, being in this little town in the mountains. And whatever. You go, you keep doing your thing. Yeah, so I've been here learning about the facilities, working in different parts of the building. There's this one room, however, and this is where the party really starts, right? There's this one room that's, it's not quite a room. It was made into a room. I guess this used to be an old schoolhouse, I believe. There's this little room, just very, very top of the building, full of carpets. It's supposed to be like a meditation room, a yoga room. And I had just gone to this room because it's usually used as a recording studio / yoga room. I wanted to record some things. Again, I'm here as an artist, right? As my side gig of wanting to be an artist. I always wanted to work in illustration and comic books and cartoons, and I guess I wanted to record myself speaking and drawing, and yeah. So I go into this room. Again, it's not like I haven't been in this room within all the days that I've been here. I know this place pretty well at this point. Made myself, it's funny, made myself a little bowl of spaghetti. Went to put my spaghetti in this room. And this room has a potted tree. Looks like a tree, but it's a plant, kind of built like a tree. And in between, or on the both sides of where this plant is, there's these little openings that go down to the next floor underneath you. So I put pillows there because I didn't want the sound to travel, and so all that to say, I gave this tree so much look and attention. I almost bumped into this little tree, into this little plant. And yeah, I remember that I'm looking straight down, and I see this rock that looks like a oh my God, like a snail shell, like this big ass snail shell. And I'm like, oh, that's such a weird looking thing. Anyways, regular potted plant, fucking tree sticking out of the middle of the plant, like any potted plant that you would see. Weird rock. I go to get my computer and my, my chargers, all my shit to come back into this room, close the door, do my little whatever it is that I'm on the microphone, and then just go, right? Come back upstairs, and I stop like right at the doorway, like just right at the doorway, and fucking right at the potted, like the dirt of the potted plant, there is a figure. And this is, again, this plant is a fucking stick shooting out of a potted, out of a plant pot, right? So there's nothing around it, but there's a figure that looks like a tiny person that's standing at like by this weird little rock. And it's not something that you just don't see. Like I still taken aback. As you can tell, still taken aback. It's a little tiny person, and just immediately I said, the first thing I said was, "You're fucking me, bro." I walk, make a 180, turn my ass around, walk down these little steps. I walk into my kitchen that we have here. And I take a deep breath, and I'm like, I didn't just see a tiny person sitting at this little tree in the middle of this, in this room. I didn't just fucking see that. I didn't see that. So I'm like, all right, Jane. All right, Jane. Take a deep breath, Jane. Take a deep breath, Jane. Go back. Sure, it's not real. Go back. The fucking thing is just like a statue. And I what freaks me out so much about it was that it looked like it was covered in a matte-like substance. Like it was like its color wasn't something that you would see in Hollywood as a fae or a fairy, whatever the fuck they're called, right? This thing, matte, almost like a chocolate, but greenish, like mud. And it looked like it had clothes. It looked like it had hair and skin. Excuse me. And it had these wings. I wouldn't say they're like dragonfly, like rounded wings, but like almost, I don't know how to describe almost like a triangular type of shape, and they look like glass. And I couldn't fucking, like, I grew up as like a little good Christian kid. So I'm in my head, I'm like, hey God. So what am I looking at here? What the fuck is going on? I grab someone who's also in the, I'm like, hey, can you just give me a second? Just give me a second of your fucking time. I'm really having like a stress moment. They go, yeah. Come upstairs. They say, what the fuck is that? And it's standing there. And they just turn around like, yeah, nah, fuck that. They leave. And, again, I don't know, man. I had all my computer stuff there. And I was like, you know what? I guess I'm just going to stay with it. Now, mind you, it stayed like a statue. It stayed like a stat. One of the things that this person said was, oh, it looks like a toy. Maybe maybe there's like a entity or something in the house. They didn't mix of this and my best friend back home. That I'll get to that in a second too. Hey, maybe it looks like an action figure, and they put it there, right? I'm not saying that something obviously fucking something strange and supernatural just happened in this room, but it's obvious that you know. And then you walk closer to it, and it has what appears to be like, again, a matte substance, but it also has textures of skin and clothes and hair. And it was completely this brown greenish type of color with fucking what, almost a light turquoise glass looking wings. Very skinny limbs. It almost looked like it had a feminine appearance. And I just sat there, and I, you know, this person left and said, yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. They leave. And I sat there in the room, and I'm like, it's not real. It's not real. It's not real. Maybe, I don't know what compelled me to sit there, finish my little project, and then I left. One of the things that I told her when I was alone with it, I was like, hey, can you, like, you know, I'm not trying to make you leave. and just like that, I was like, hey, listen, I'm not trying to make you leave. This is obviously your spot. I'm just trying to finish this little thing that I'm making. Because again, it just stayed like a statue. And I just like, I was like, you know, you're not hurting me. I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to be weird with you. I'm really not trying to do nothing, none of that. There's just nowhere for me to do this little project, and I really care about what I'm doing. Like, I'm really like explaining myself to this thing. And I said, I just don't feel like it's fair for me to not do my thing just because you're here. So I'm just going to continue to do my thing. Okay, cool, great. Just open up my laptop, did my little story, whatever it is that I wanted to do. Closed up my laptop, and I left. Closed the door. I think I left like a wire or something in there, and I went back, and it looked like it fucking moved. Like it changed positions, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. And then I said again, I was like, listen, I'm just trying to grab my thing, you know, just like, hey, like listen, I'm not here to mess with you or anything like that. Like again, like really, truly grab my thing. I left. FaceTime with my friend, and she's like, hey, I'm telling her, because also, oh my God, sidebar. Again, one of the things I forgot to mention earlier, me and my best friend were driving in this, you know, very famous haunted town in New York. Again, we're from New York City, so we're driving around, and we saw a phantom or a ghost, and this fae or pixie thing, I don't know, is the second supernatural thing to happen to me this month, and I'm still in a lot of shock about it. Also because other people have seen these things with me, that I'm not crazy, and I'm not looking at this like I'm by myself. Other people are like, fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck you for bringing me here. What is it about you, Miss Jane, that you have seen the fucking other things this month? And I was like, anyways, this ghost, it looked like a woman who was holding a lot of fabrics on the side of the road, and in my head, it looked like she was holding something. In my head, I was like, is that like a postpartum woman? Is she holding like a blanket or a kid or something? And then my best friend is like, listen, she doesn't have any feet, all right? She doesn't have any feet, and she's like, because at this point I'm slowing down, like, hey, do you need help? She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry, please edit that. I'm so sorry. Hello?
Editing will fix it. Carry on.
Okay, sure. Yeah, she goes, hey, Jane, like fuck that. This bitch, calling a ghost a bitch is crazy. She goes, this bitch doesn't have any feet, all right? And I'm like, what do you mean this bitch doesn't have any feet? She goes, that ghost doesn't have any feet. Fucking jump on the gas. We're jumping on the gas, and we're both like mortified. I cannot explain the kind of feeling in that moment. If you look up the town too, actually, I guess you can, Sleepy Hollow, obviously, right? Everybody goes to Sleepy Hollow at this time of year. People say you hear the Headless Horseman, but if you don't know, the locals have a different they have different experiences. There are different ghosts and famous ghosts and famous entities that you can encounter in Sleepy Hollow all year round. And they aren't legends, they're very real. And this is one that is called the White Woman because it looks like she's carrying a lot of white bed sheets and different, sometimes it's different colored bed sheets. Some of the bed sheets she was holding was tan or black and things. And she appears on certain areas of the Rockefeller Reserve and certain streets that are on the outskirts of Sleepy Hollow and where tourists usually go. But you can find her, and she is very much real. I've seen her. My best friend has seen her. Other friends that we know in the area, their parents, they say, oh, well, did you go there at this time of night? And did you do this? And we were like, yeah, like, well, so, meaning that she's very much alive and real. There are other things in that town that are very real that, the public doesn't really know about because they know about Rip Van Winkle and all these other things. Anyways, getting back to this fucking fairy. We saw that a couple weeks ago. And then this happened to me today. So I'm still in like an existential shock of the fact that these supernatural beings are not only just very much real, but they're tangible, they're there, they're clear as day. And so I'm on FaceTime with my friend. I go back to check if this thing is still there. It looks like it almost in like a stance, right? For me, it felt like the first time I was around it, it was like, all right, you're cool with me, right? Like all right, I'm not gonna fuck with you that bad. The second time when I went to go get my wire, it was like, all right, fine. And then this third time, it felt like it was also like darker at nighttime. It felt like, all right, now you have to get the fuck out of my space, right? But I was like on FaceTime with my friend, and she was like, I'm not gonna screenshot it. I just want to see if it's there, because again, the same friend who saw the ghost. So I was on FaceTime with her, and I said, excuse me, like, I probably fucked up doing this, and I was like, hey, listen, I'm like, this is just my friend. We just wanted to see you, and she just wanted to see. I'm not taking pictures, right? You're not taking pictures, right? And she's like, no, I'm not taking pictures. And this sounds so fucking stupid, but she goes, yeah, no, I'm not taking screenshots, like I just want to like support my friend and seeing you. And so I flipped the camera around, and she was like, I thought you were fucking with me. and it was almost in like a different stance. And then I was like, all right, she saw you, thanks, we don't have any pictures, we're not going to keep any pictures of you. Turned around, closed the door, and I left. So I do not believe she's there anymore, but I don't know. She has been moving her positions. It's been a few hours now that I've gone in and out where, the energy changes in that room. She changes her look. She also doesn't really have any distinct facial features or eyes or really, but distinct textures, like almost like a hairy top, like a top that was made out of a feather, hair, like wispy hair. It almost looks like it's tied back, wings. So
turquoise glass wings.
Yeah.
Jane, I'm riveted by your storytelling here.
Me fucking too, bro. So, yeah. Oh my God.
May I say a few things and ask a few questions? Is that all right with you?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. First of all, just so that you don't feel alone, that's fucking amazing. And I'll drop a few more F-bombs. It's also fucking mind-blowing what you're talking about. So...
Oh, God, listen.
But expletives aside, let me center myself and think about what I want to ask in a constructive and linear manner so that this is productive. First of all, thank you again for that storytelling. I mean that sincerely. I don't just mean it off the cuff. What you're talking about is truly remarkable. I will separate my questions about Sleepy Hollow and the woman without feet for like the end, but I want to talk about this fae with turquoise glass wings and its textures, lack of face, changing positions, and a few other things. I want to make sure that I've got an important part of this story correct. You were going into this room, and I'm asking this question just to make sure that I was listening correctly. And if for any reason I had it wrong, you can correct me. So just let me tell you what I'm trying to ask. You got your spaghetti ready, etc. You're going in to make some art. You're getting ready to cover this like space in the floor that you're talking about that kind of lets light and air through because you're getting ready to do some recording. And so you're all around this plant, you're looking at this plant, you're touching this plant like you're saying. At any point when that was all going on and you were looking at this weird rock and the plant, did you see that figurine?
No. Nope.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard, and I wanted to make sure that I heard correctly. That's astonishing.
And I'll double down and tell you that I've been in this room. Again, I've been here since this past Saturday, and it's Thursday, Friday now. And I've sat in that room, I've chilled in that, I've been very acclimated to that space. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, you were very clear about that and you're setting the stage for us and myself. So thank you for confirming that I was listening correctly. That's a very important detail here. So first of all, they do show up out of nowhere, and it's astonishing when it happens. Also, now, you don't know anything about this show, and you've never talked to me before. Can you just confirm that for the audience listening, just briefly?
Oh, no, so I'll take a 2-second rant to say I've been in so much shock that this happened to me today. The other people that, my one best friend on FaceTime, again, the one who saw the ghost with me, and the other person who had also seen it there, and just took a good look at it and said, nah, fuck that. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. I just I'm right there. I can picture the moment.
Yeah, it's obviously that's like world melting, world like the carpet underneath you just completely collapses. Like it's just but what was this? Yeah, I've been in so much shock. You can still hear it in my voice how I talk. So I went online and I wanted to learn about the nature of these creatures because now I know this fucking thing is real, right? These things are fucking real, right? These things are real. I want to learn about, can you ask permission to take pictures of them? Am I going to be in trouble that I put it on FaceTime and it, sheesh, and it looked different. It kind of looked a little different on the screen from what I was looking at it in person, which is obviously something that happens when you put something on camera, but that's neither here nor there. I also came on this podcast again because I want to archive that this actually happened to me, and what is the nature of these creatures and of these things? What's their personality? And are they gonna steal my shoes tonight, or are they gonna lock me out of my car? Like what the fuck are these things? What do they do? So yeah, so that's it.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, however you found me, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be receiving that kind of archive. Like, this is super cool, to say the least. And again, I don't mean to laugh. It's just like, I have a black friend who, like, I won't name, but he does that kind of shit when stuff gets weird. He's like, no, I'm fucking out. Bye. And the way he does it is so hilarious that it just reminds me of what your friend sounds like when they saw this thing. They're like, fuck that, I'm out, fuck you, bye. Like, some people are not ready for this type of subject matter to become real. I'm fascinated by so many elements of your story. This is a persistent sighting, meaning it was there over a long period of time. That's remarkable, first of all. That's really special. You have been party to a very special experience here tonight. They often are extremely fleeting, and you do not usually get a very good, long, or lasting look at them whatsoever. So I'm gonna do something that is a little unusual for this show, to say the least, because I've never had this particular scenario present itself to me before, where a guest has just had this happen. Would you allow me to tell you what my intuition is telling me a little bit as you ask the question, what is the nature of this thing you saw?
Yes. No, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. First of all, I wasn't there. I don't know you. I didn't see this thing. I don't know anything at all, but I know a tiny little bit from listening to you that I can tie deeply to many of the people that I've spoken to on this program. I'm just going to do this intuition thing here for a second. I don't know if it is of any value. I am a host of a podcast because I saw a fairy one time. So take it for what it is. That includes everybody listening. You were mentioning a second ago that you're doing an art internship, not an internship, but an art residency, sorry. And that you're really into like comic book art and illustration. Doing art is not just creating drawings from your imagination in some circumstances. For certain people, whether they realize it or not, creating art is very much channeling the Fae. And so it is no surprise to me that you are seeing this fairy in association with the fact that you are pursuing art, and that it sounds to me like you're kind of being acknowledged and rewarded for that pursuit already by being offered a residency, and that period of time is coming to an end, in this 2 weeks is coming to a close. I think that fairy is definitely wanting you to know the kind of stuff I'm saying, which is that it's when you are truly investing yourself and your life into art, it's a kind of technology, in fact, that both empowers a deeper understanding and connection of interdimensional entities by representing them so that people can look at them, but also like the mechanism functions both ways, Jane, so that as you create art about these entities, they both, get understood better and kind of reach through the veil onto the page or whatever the case may be, into the clay, etc. But then they grow somehow more capable on the flip side through the interface, so that people are like, oh, I really picked something up from that piece of art. And then back behind the veil, it would appear that those Fae then, like in a movie scene, grow in their supernatural power, because the magic is contained in the dance between the seer and the seen, and the spoken muse and the ear that catches it. It's so fucking lovey-dovey, tra-la-la, Lord of the Ringsy, but it's it's actually a kind of technical interface that is actually taking place in art. And I've talked to more than one person who's doing some crazy shit with art. I'll give you a brief example. There's this woman, Danielle, who makes fairies, and she knows what she's doing. She like asks, does any fairy want to come through? And then she makes them in clay and into like a fully three-dimensional form. She was telling me about these dolls one time back in episode 22, and when she was doing it, a pair of glasses in my house picked up and moved, like floated and dropped next to my face. And then further on in that conversation, my ball mouse picked up out of my ball mouse socket and dropped next to my face. Furthermore, I talked to that same woman again months later because I asked her to make a doll as a giveaway prize for this podcast. And when we were talking about this new doll, it shut down the power in my entire condominium complex and started talking to me through the fire alarms. So there's a brief and very small example of the degree to which channeling or being creative, even if you don't know that you're doing it, can be something that the Fae know and recognize about an individual, want to reinforce, want to stimulate. I think there's something there about the fact that you're doing art in that room, in that space. But I think it has a lot to do with you as well. Because these fairies, although they are random at first glance, upon deeper reflection, if you're lucky enough to be able to get deeper into your encounter, you realize they have a lot to do with you. So it may have a lot to do with that room, to be sure. Maybe even that plant, maybe even that weird rock. It would be really interesting when we're done talking here in a second to see if you can go back and see that thing again on air, but we'll get there. Let me finish my insights. So something to do with the fact that you want to make art is being reinforced and lifted up in you here tonight by that fairy. I think the other thing about their nature is that they are fucking tricksters. They are the most mind-boggling, ahead of you by like 10 steps in terms of their thinking and preparation, tricksters. And so whatever happened tonight was intentional and not an accident. That's my other intuition that I'll share with you. They know what they're doing. They know why they're doing it. So I saw mine with another person. That made it so that I could never forget it. And that totally changed my life and the way that I look at things. And now I'm a straight, white, 45-year-old dude hosting a podcast where I do nothing except talk to people that have seen fairies. So don't not let what happened tonight change your life, because what you're describing is on a super high level of intensity in terms of what has come on this show. That's what I've got so far, other than just to say, just listening to you, you're enchanted, I can tell. And I've started to be able to tell with certain people. And you can tell through all the cursing like a sailor. In fact, it's part of the charm. So the Fae like genuine people, Jane. They know your heart. That's something I will finish by saying. The Fae know your heart. So whatever showed itself to you knows your heart. I don't know if any of that has any value to you, but that's what I have in terms of insights. Unless you have any comments about what I've said, I'll ask some questions if that's okay with you.
No, no, everything you said just it hits a nerve. Definitely. Yeah, I'm this is incredible. Yeah, I can answer some questions most definitely.
Well, thanks for reflecting back to me that any of what I said there was of any value. I'm hoping it, because here's the thing. Back in 2019, I was not a fairy guy. However, I was aboard a gigantic 75-foot art boat because I was actively protesting whale watching. And we have like these orca whales here on the coast that are critically endangered, and hundreds of thousands of people go and take a look at them in Zodiac boats every year. And that's a shame. And so I was in an art boat protesting that, and that's when I saw my ferry was aboard that boat. And it took me like nearly 30 episodes of talking to people, because I'm an idiot, to realize art has a lot to do with the Fae. Once I made that realization, I'm not even joking, Jane, shit got fucking crazy around this podcast, okay? Like, now I've started to talk to people, and during episodes, the fairies are like doing stuff. Like, I talked to one woman just casually because she's just this way. She pulled some tarot cards before we talked, and we were just talking, and she's like, where did the tarot cards that I pulled go? And so while we're on air, they were taken from her, put back in the box. She pulled them out again and then was talking to me about them. And then while she was looking at them, the cards themselves changed. They were no longer the same 3 cards that had been pulled out. Those cards were somehow fucking back in the box, and the ones in front of her were changed. That happened live on air. That's about as close as I've come to catching fairies live. And so you're about second close, because this just happened tonight. But I tell you what, they're fucking amazing. They can move shit, pop shit in and out of reality, and really fuck with your mind, because it's like, how did they make my glasses float? How did they talk to me through my fire alarm and take down the power in my building? How did they flip Emma's cards? How did they make Becky B create Grimble Grumble? There's like a lot of stuff I'm referring to that you have no idea about. It's mostly referential stuff for the audience, but when you finally come down and go back and listen to Fascinating Fae, which I hope you do, this shit will connect even deeper, and you'll get the benefit of listening to this, your own episode later, and it'll all connect at a second listen. But listen, you're talking about a pattern of stuff in your own experience that just happened tonight that I've not heard that exactly whatsoever, but enough of it clicking with me now that that's why I can kind of offer you those insights. I'm not just being like funny about it. Like, continue to pursue your art. It's a huge message from the Fae for you to do that. Also, now that I say that, I'm getting really big goosebumps, and I'm getting another little thing I gotta say. It was so detail rich looking because I don't know anything about you, but I'm pretty sure it's like what am I trying to get at? What's it trying to say to me? It's like you're into comic book art, so of course you're doing like crazy detail rich and probably very like intense art. And so I think that the way it looks with it, the way you're describing it, feels to me like it wanted, like it might even be your Fae is in fact what is coming up, actually. Because people have them. They have fairies. It may or may not be associated with that room. It'd be very interesting to hear if anyone else ever in the history of using that building has seen that particular entity, but that's a side note. Okay, I'll get to my questions. So, yeah, fuck, I'm sorry for even talking that much, because I got like a hot potato here with a guest who's just seen something, and here I am, blah, blah, blah. But you did, ask for some context, and I'm trying my best to be, offer the free therapy chair as a fellow experiencer. When I saw my thing, it was so intense, Jane. Like, I was like emotionally blown away. I cannot fucking believe you sat down and ate your spaghetti and continued on with your work. You have the biggest set of lady balls of anyone I've ever talked to in my life.
Well,
you're on a whole other level of tough shit, in my fucking opinion. I'm sorry. I'm just going to call it like it is. Wow. Okay. Let's talk about appearance as much as possible. This no-face face, let's get into it. By the way, multiple people have seen these no-face faces, not the least of which is myself. A full-size man came to my door, bleeding everywhere when I was recording an episode. And he's like, can you look at my face right now? And as he's saying that, he's not showing me his face. I go outside to help him, and there's no blood anywhere, and he's disappeared, and there's 2 French girls standing there. They can do whatever they want. They can appear however they want. And actually, they take the most wild and amazing forms. Like, some people have seen them look like alabaster toddlers with papier mâché limbs and no faces. I mean, it just like boggles the mind. So I would love to hear more about what you saw tonight. Take yourself there, take a breath. I'll shut up. I don't matter here at all. What did that face look like to the best of your ability? And this wispy hair pulled back, like, is this a female figure?
Yes, definitely. It's weird because I'm sorry. I'm just, again, it's such a wild fucking experience. Sitting there with it. I don't mean to sound like religious, but I want to say that I come from a specific culture where when I was growing up, I came from a very strict folk Pentecostal background. And again, this is I'm not bringing my religion, or I'm saying that's something that I grew up in, as well as the people who come from the country that my family comes from. And one of the things that they told us at a young age, and as much as we have such an interesting identity in the world these days, one of the things that they teach you is that you're going to have supernatural experiences as children, as adults, throughout your life. You're going to see everything and anything. And with that, they say that the number one rule is that you don't feel afraid. And if you're around one, you continue to do what you do. You don't give it any sort of acknowledgement. You say, listen. One of the things they also would tell me as a kid was like if you run into something, in my culture, there's also a lot of I come from a Caribbean background, so it's things like we have a lot of belief in voodoo or santeria or things of that nature. So they say if you experience something, you just let it sit there, have its experience. You have to let it, and sometimes you have to tell it listen, excuse me, you do your thing, I'm doing my thing. But I'm not going to mess with you, but you're not going to mess with me. Because if you mess with me, then it's hands down, But so I'm saying that because that's how I could sit there in that time and look at it. But it kind of reminded me of Joy or Tinkerbell, that wispy, kind of hair.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the little bit more context on the background there. That helps. It reminded me of Vicky, who's just sitting having a cup of tea with a troll that burst in through her window and tried to eat her cat. I'm not even exaggerating, but the degree of acceptance of the presence of the Fae and the potential for actual working relationships with them is also something that exists. If you aren't mind blown enough tonight by what you just saw, are you in the same facility where this room is tonight still while you're talking to me?
Yes.
I'm curious because this isn't a photograph of them. Would you be willing to go back to the room and describe it if it is in fact still there? I'm just curious.
I'm going to be honest with I can. I kind of already told it hey, listen, I would be, I'm going to go do my thing now. I was on FaceTime with my friend. I could go right now.
If it's still there, I'm really curious to see if it's in a different position. And I'm really just curious to have you describe it to me if it's still there. And I'm also curious to know if it's not still there.
Oh my God. I'm gonna I'm gonna be a little nervous, but yeah, like I guess, you know.
Thank you. No pressure
Yeah.
here. I have to ask. So
Yeah. So I just left my room. Light is still on. I don't. I'm in the hallway now, in front of the door that it happened. I'm a little nerved out. Oh, there's a little hole. Okay. Again. Okay. I guess. All right. I don't want to. I don't want to really bother it too much, but yeah, here I go. I'm shitting my pants right now, too, by the way. All right. I guess I'll knock, and then I'll see if it's, so. Okay. I think one of my roommates, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Excuse me. Hello. I'm so sorry. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, bro. I'm like actually shitting my pants. Oh, fuck me. Oh God. No, oh my God. I'm sorry. No, that was entirely me. That was entirely me. That was me. Oh my God. I probably shouldn't have done this. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get a broom. That's what I'm gonna do. Some sort of stick so that I don't have to. Hey. It's crazy.
what's going on?
Oh no, so I forgot I closed the door to where I saw this thing. And so like I went to open the door and like the door like creaked a little bit and freaked me out.
You're really brave.
I'm sorry about that. Oh my God.
Listen, I'll comfort you somewhat by saying this. If it's still there, it's because it wants to be on the show. There's no way that it doesn't know that the show is happening.
Okay. All right. Again, I found this shit on Reddit because I didn't know how to like deal with this. Didn't know how to, you know. Oh, there's an umbrella. Okay, maybe I should use that. Also, it's I hate to say it, but it's also a bit of a weapon. If something runs out at me or something. I don't know, bro.
I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty confident it's not about to take you over to the fairy realm live on air, I hope. So,
It's more for me. It's more for me and my mental well-being. Oh my God.
this is incredible podcasting and conversation. Thank you so much for this.
I don't know. Okay. Let's see if it's still there. I'm like ready to shit my pants. Coño. Ah, fuck. Ah! Still there.
It's still there.
Shit. Yeah.
Amazing.
It got smaller. What the fuck? Oh my God, why would it do that? Oh my God. Okay. That is fucking terrifying.
Amazing.
Why would it do that? That's just so fucking
How much smaller?
like significantly. It's like I think it would just look a little thicker. It's like no, 'cause I'm saying like the arms, they look a little skinnier. It looks like Like it had a little bit more hips. Now it's looking a little skinnier. The head looks a little skinnier. Like it lost weight.
Interesting.
Jesus Christ.
Do you feel like you were interrupting it as you were coming in and out all previous times and just now? And that it kind of like freezes or stops what it was doing mid?
I don't know. I'm gonna let it rock. I'm gonna let it.
Okay, well, now that you're there looking at it, let's just...
Nah. I can do that from the safety of my house. Nah, fuck that. Alright. Oh, fuck that. Alright, so it's just a little tiny brown person. It's there.
These glass wings is something I'm very interested in. Are they like segmented? Like you said earlier, they're kind of triangular, but not quite like a dragonfly. So what are you looking at exactly?
Well, I had to look at it from like the back of the hallway, but oh God, I guess, Jesus Christ, this is the scariest shit I've ever seen in my life. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Maybe I'm gonna close the door on it. That's what I'm gonna do. That's my next move. Okay. It's still there. Alright, Mr. Thing. Okay. I don't want to go up there. Close the door. Oh my God. Yeah, no. I'm just letting him rock. I'm just gonna let him chill. I'm just gonna let him chill. Her, whatever. Because now it looks like... Oh my God, it's so fucking scary. It's so fucking scary. Oh my God. Okay, so it looks like a skinny brown armed fucking mummy looking thing now. And it looks like from earlier when you opened the door, you couldn't really see it walking up and then looking at now you can clearly see it when you open the door, and it's skinny, and the arm, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hello.
Yeah, I'm just letting you have your moment.
Should I take it? I don't know if I should take a picture, but I don't.
I would love it if you were to take a picture. I mean, I speak with no authority because I am just a guy who saw a fairy, and all I do is talk to people. I've talked to about 60 people, like 60.
I already told it I didn't want to take an actual picture because I don't want it to fuck with me. Oh my God.
Again, like if this thing was not there at the onset of this entire sequence of events here tonight, and it's still there, and you get a picture of it, it's because it wants you to. There's no other logic at work with the Fae if they're being visible like this. What you're describing does not sound like a toy. It sounds like an incredibly weird, matte, substance-covered, hyper-realistic looking thing, and I would love to have a fucking look at it. I'm just being completely honest.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. You hyped me into it. I'm gonna take a picture. Oh my God, I'm gonna take a picture. Oh, this is gonna suck. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and like my toes are gone or some shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh God, Jesus Christ. Is this still there? Oh Jesus, it is. Sorry. Oh God. Hello. I think I want to take a picture now. There you go. Okay, I am going to hang up, send it to you.
Okay. I'll call you back when I receive it.
Hello?
Hi again.
Hi. See, the issue that I'm having is, oh my God. Uh, the picture that I took, it has eyes. It has eyes. I think I fucked up. I think I fucked up. I think I should have left it alone.
Honestly, the first picture you sent me, I downloaded it and then I zoomed in. It is fucking freaky looking. I mean, in a great way. Like it just that does not look like a toy. That's an incredible photography, and I'm just referring to the one from far away. Have you sent a picture again with the eyes to me?
That's the first picture that I sent. If you zoom in, you can see that it has
That's
eyes.
yeah. When you zoom in, you can see it. You can see it. You can see them.
Earlier, I said it didn't. I'm gonna lose my shit, bro. I think I fucked up. I think I fucked up.
I don't know that I can offer any real comfort because I'm actually just experiencing this with you right now. But they're not like harmless, but they're well intentioned at the end of the day. Like I've had some really scary stuff happen, but I still have all of my toes and all of my fingers, Jane, and I'm still hosting this podcast, and it just keeps getting more interesting and better as we go. I can't even really get my head around what I'm looking at in this photo. The second you sent it to me, it gave me goosebumps because what is that thing doing there? And those wings are totally like you described. They're like triangular and glass, it looks like. Have you decided if you want to go touch it or not?
Nah, nah. I think we're good. I think we're good. Nah.
I feel a little weird right now. Wow, this is neat. This is gonna sound so strange, but I want to tell you something else. Can I just tell you something else as we contemplate this moment?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell me. You can. You can. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'm still not straight up sure what I'm looking at in that photo, so I'm letting my brain take a second. The stance of it is totally offsetting as well, hey? Like the way it's just standing there, it's totally not a toy. Oh, I'm getting really bad goosebumps even just thinking about it. I gotta open the picture back up so I can look at it some more. Whoa.
What do you mean bad goosebumps? There's such thing as a bad goosebumps?
No,
Now this
no
thing's
chance.
gonna fucking kill
No
me.
chance. No. Goosebumps are a good thing. Wow, look at this thing.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. I freaked out and I started speaking in Spanish too. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm losing my shit.
Everyone is going to complain that this is not the clearest picture in the world. I don't give a shit. It's totally weird looking. I'm trying to think rationally what that might be. The stance on it is so weird. You would have noticed that beforehand if it had been there next to that weird rock it's standing right next to. That's what's totally weird on top of it as I think about what you just told me. Okay.
I'm gonna see if one of my roommates can just like grab it and like see what it. Also, like I don't want to get like bad juju or some shit.
It does kind of look like it's covered in a totally matte substance, like you're saying, with the exception of its wings. Very interesting. Before you head back in there, what I was going to tell you was that today is kind of a weird day in the sense that I'm doing 2 interviews. I don't usually do 2 interviews in a day, but when I do sometimes do interviews for this show, quite frequently, there's audio problems at the beginning of the recording process. And earlier, I spoke to this woman from Portugal who was thinking about pretty much, all day here before you popped up in my consciousness just now. And we had really funny audio problems at the start of our call. When these audio problems happen, it's like my audio like just disappears, or like my headphones work, but the audio isn't recording. And then like it'll be like the inverse of that. And it's like an obvious signal from the Fae that they're here for episode construction. So that was happening earlier. I talked to this woman, Carolina, but when we were done talking, it was a very emotional conversation. And I was like, I'm sure that this woman from Portugal is a fairy. Like, she just felt 1,000% like a fairy. And she's a fairy artist herself, and very like deeply kind of on this path of like me talking to fairy artists and artists in general around like muse. And then I noted when we were done talking that like, nothing all that weird happened with Carolina, even though there was this weird audio. And then now you, a second artist, are calling me with this thing. I know that you don't know each other. I just am riding a weird little intuition here. There's something going on here with that earlier conversation and this here tonight. I'm pretty sure of it. The Fae work in kind of a mysterious way, Jane, and many of my guests have found themselves inexplicably connected as a part of coming on this show. So we'll see. Not sure at all if any of that will play out, but I just feel like there's something weird there, because this is truly like takes the cake for weird stuff on the show so far. I'm really interested, what do you feel about all this? I've given you my intuitions, but you're there in this moment. That's more important. What do you think is going on here tonight?
Well, you know what I think? I think I fucked up a little bit by taking a picture and a video. I'll be honest with you. I feel like I gave it, again, like I'm coming in from a different cultural context, like legal rights to fuck with me. Now I have this picture on my phone. I kind of want to delete the picture, delete the video.
I can do that for you if you want. I will honor that and just have seen it for myself. I promise you that if you hang up and you want to do that, you have my word. That's my word for sure. I'm not here to fuck with people. I'm here to collect people's stories and offer support. Seeing that picture, if you do allow it, is validating for many people, and it's extremely interesting. And the show's name is Fascinating Fae because it's all just extremely interesting. But that takes second seat to your feeling of safety and security, anonymity, and everything else that's important about, why you and anybody else might want to come on remaining intact. That's the key. So like, you want me to delete that? That's cool. You got my promise that I would, and I wouldn't share it, and I wouldn't worry about it. Like, I wouldn't feel like I was missing anything or anything like that. It's all good. I know what I'm looking at in that picture right now. It's pretty trip. I can't believe you're near that thing. That's really interesting. That's all I want to say. No pressure. And I don't think you messed up. I do think that if that thing wanted to just disappear again, it could do so in 5 seconds without even thinking about it. They're tricksters, like I keep saying, and I've learned that the hard way. They really play with your mind.
It's a fucking jungle gym right now. It's a fucking Olympic competition. It's the Australian Olympics. What was it? The breakdancer. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Games.
I think maybe more what I was asking, and I don't think I was asking, do you feel like you fucked up or anything? I just think like, this is so fascinating to be doing this real time with somebody. Because a lot of times people get to think about what their fairy meant after the fact. What do you think, what does it bring up for you? Like, why would this be happening at this time for you, do you think? I'm just really curious.
I guess again, oh my God, I can't even talk. I come from a background of that, there's a reason why you see the things that you see, and there's a reason why you experience things you experience, and you have supernatural experiences with certain you know what I mean? Like there's reasons for it. Um, I also, come from a background where it says you're allowed and you're not allowed to see certain things at certain times and at certain points. Like you're allowed to do this, and and sometimes that gets a little shaky. So why was I allowed this experience? I I I think it's fucking mortifying, the fact that I spent an hour, about what was it? Spent almost like about an hour just fucking around on my computer. Oh, I sang a couple little songs. Um, I brought when I was a kid. Again, I used to be part of my church, and we used to do like Spanish uh, um, chorus with music, and I used to play bass and piano. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna fuck around. I'm gonna, do that in this little space, and this thing isn't gonna pressure me to not do it. And so I spent a fair amount of time just like la 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 lee lee lee, writing my little stories, reading them out loud, writing down little, character ideas of all the things that I wanted to do in this space. I was like, you're not gonna stop me, right? I'm not messing with you. You're not messing with me, kind of thing. So again, I spent a good, and in my head too, I'm just like, oh, well, it's not really fucking moving. It's not doing anything. So I'm taking it, which is also kind of hilarious if you think about it, right? Okay, like it's like if you see Bigfoot and he's just drinking coffee, and and you're just at Starbucks and you're like, wow, Bigfoot. And then, 10 minutes pass by, and then you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna continue with my coffee because it's really not fucking doing anything. That's that was it.
I'm not gonna make you go back in there, and I'm gonna totally let you have a lot of time to decide about that picture, because this episode wouldn't even come out naturally for many weeks anyway, because I got a lot of ones before it. So let's just leave that particular part of this conversation here tonight as something to talk about offline for the future, if you want that picture shared or not. I'm just really stoked you went ahead and did it for just my eyes only. I'm going to just say for the audience listening, it's really weird looking what I just saw in that picture, and I'm actually have it open looking at it right now, and I can't get over those wings.
Yeah, that's what I'm speaking so much in circles, but I'm so sorry. But it's the fact that I've spent all that to say, I spent a fair amount of time with this fucking thing. That's, at one point, at one point, I was even joking. I was like, "Yeah, at this point, we're best friends now, huh?" Like I went to close the door and like just do something. Yeah, at this point, like we're best of friends, you and me. Just fucking around, just joking. And I know what it looks like. Didn't have eyes in the picture. Fucking eyes in the picture. Had fucking eyes. That's crazy.
If that for some reason, and I don't think that this is the case, if for some reason that's something that someone made, what the hell did they make that out of?
And how did it get there? How did it get there, Jim? Then there's something else in the fucking house. We're not talking about, the fairies and the Tinkerbells and fucking, we're talking about like there's something in the house that put it there in the first. That's crazy.
I'm right here with you. You've actually kind of taken me to your experience tonight, which is really fucking cool. Man, oh man, I love my job. This isn't even my job. I just make that as a joke. Like I do this for free just because I'm so fascinated by this all. Okay, I'm just going to tell you what I want to say. I just think you're on your way in your pursuits creatively. I think the Fae, like, first of all, fairies love people who make music, make art, smoke weed, sing and dance, joke around. That's their fucking jam. They love that. It's not like you hear it all through folklore and stuff like that because it's the fucking truth. And if you're seeing that thing tonight at your art residency and calling me and all of it, it's a big thumbs up for you to continue on making art. Maybe later when you're done thinking about it all, we can see some of your art, because now I just really want to know what your style's like and what you make. After I've spoken to so many other inspired and touched artists, this is a very, I'm sure that this has a lot to do with the past few conversations, because right now in this show, if you think about the Fascinating Fae as having a moment in space and time, what's happening right now in this show is I'm giving away thousands of dollars of art that I bought from fairy artists I've talked to promote the show. And I just finished talking with another woman, like I said, from Portugal, who was very aware of the connection with the Fae in regards to art. And then now there's you in an art residency with this fairy. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I'm just a little astonished at that picture and this whole conversation and the whole trajectory. There's a lot going on here. The fairies love art. They're not just telling you that tonight. They're telling everybody who listens to the show that tonight in a big way is what's coming up for me tonight. What a privilege to get to collect your story like this. Wow, neat. Wow, thank you, fairies, and thank you, Jane, for everything that's happened so far in this conversation. Okay, let me continue to do my job as host of a podcast here. Sorry, I was trailing off into my own moment there. Sorry about that. Okay, here's what I'll do next. I do try to keep episodes of a show to a minimum time, and we've already talked for a good hour or so, and so we'll move somewhat towards wrapping up, but there's really no rush. It's just gonna not make you go back in there, and we've talked a lot about what you've already seen. It really looks like it's wearing clothes. It looks like it's covered in a weird brown waxy substance that is not waxy but matte. It does look like a real living thing just froze like a figurine, kind of. Doesn't it?
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Here's what I'll do next. I'm trying to collect my thoughts just as much as you right now. This is so neat. I've talked to a lot of people that have seen fairies, Jane. I've seen one myself. Did you have any more questions while you've still got me here and everyone else is also listening to what your questions might be? You can always get me offline, but just for now, do you have any questions?
Is there anything else I should know about their nature? Like, like, like vampires, they can't eat garlic and fucking you know what I mean?
Fairies know your heart. And if you're seeing one like you're seeing tonight, it's because you have a good heart.
Oh. You can appreciate my good heart from all the fucking way over there, like 4 houses down.
I sincerely can. I sincerely can. You're fucking rad. I can tell. And I can tell you're good shit. I can tell you're loyal. I can tell you're kind of a ride or die friend, and I can tell you're amazingly creative, and I can tell all that just by listening to you. And so can the Fae, because they know your heart. And if I'm just a lowly human and I can tell all that, I can guarantee you, Jane, they got you fucking clocked and locked. They know all that about you and more. That's how they roll. That's my answer to your question.
That's fucking crazy. Okay. So, all right. I guess, is it malicious? Because one of the things I felt was like, I'm not gonna lie, like I felt like at some points, like it was like I was being pushed. Like the atmosphere was like shh, don't say anything. I'm like, no, what do you mean? It's like shh, don't say, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't like that. I don't like that.
Okay. This is really interesting and constructive. I've had a lot of wrestling with these motherfuckers because they cock up your brain. They get you know, and like I'm not down with that. I got shit to do too. Even though I'm trying to host a fairy podcast, it gets a little bit much sometimes. And so for me, this is just me. I don't make offerings. I don't make deals. I don't do shit. I just say, like, I got you. This is fucking real. But like, and it's like let me just collect myself here because this is important that I answer you correctly and succinctly from my true perspective. Sometimes I feel like I'm getting yanked around by the choke chain. I know that feeling you're talking about. Other times I feel like, well, they're here for a reason. They know I'm talking about them, so they want this. And it's just part of their duplicitous contrarian nature. They're not exactly all love and smiles, but they are at the same time. They give great gifts, but the gifts that they give are existential crises. That's why they're such great gifts, because now your head is fucked. But what that means when your head is fucked, let's just deconstruct what you experienced tonight from me, the benefit of 60 plus conversations. Something just appeared out of nowhere. What does that mean about the nature of reality? Is everything not really there? If that thing can just show up, what does that mean about everything else? That's the first gift. The second gift is, like I just said, actually, the second gift is the first gift. They know your heart. So it shows you that the resonance of your heart is being listened to, which takes you right back to the second gift of them showing up out of nowhere. Is anything real? Which takes you then to the third gift, which is the creative process ideas, or is it an interface? This is how they roll. They're very complicated. They're super generous, and they blow your mind. And it doesn't make sense until after the fact. So this is a freaky conversation for me because I'm getting to say this stuff to somebody who's just sitting in the juices of it, so to speak. It's not even dry yet. But that's what will eventually click, hopefully, if you think about what just went down tonight enough. I see it. They know you. They like you. They're trying to encourage you, in fact, in a very profound way. And they're giving you a kind of acid tab for your brain that you're never going to come down from, just like me. And everything changes, and it's wonderful afterwards because now you see.
Yeah.
That's the best I've got as a Canadian dude who saw a fairy one time and has otherwise just been talking to people about it who have also seen them. I wish I could offer more, but I do hope that what I have offered hits home somewhere because it's what I can see from all these conversations to be true. And tonight is just like right up the fucking alley. It's a strike. They're perfect bowlers. They're amazing story architects. I'll say it again. I've said it before. They line people up like nothing else. So neat. What's going on with the wings on that thing?
Actually, what made me think it was a toy, and please, I'm not going back in there, but I'm telling you from where I was sitting and from where I first saw it, they're thick. They almost look like like plastic toys, but they're different they're different hues. And I was, because again, looking at it, I was like, damn, like maybe something put it there and it was like a toy that someone was playing with, and now it's like they're not thin. They're a little thick. They almost look gelatinous.
Oh, okay. I think I see, because it's a picture. I understand what I'm looking at a lot better now that I'm listening to you and looking at it while we're talking. I got it. Okay. So actually, the wings are thicker than the body a little bit almost.
I can't believe it's on camera. I can't believe that it has eyes here. When I look at it, it doesn't have eyes. There's nothing there. It now has eyes in this picture.
That's also something they do. That's really interesting detail. They can both appear on camera with or not, and they can adjust the degree of detail from what had been like. If like some people take pictures of what is just a leaf and then later look back and there's a family portrait of fairies sitting on the leaf. But when they were taking a picture of it, they were just taking a picture of a leaf. That's one example from episode 19, Cross Country Fairy Forum with Bonnie and Therese. And I have that picture and it's online, and it just doesn't make any sense when you look at it until you hear the backstory, which is that a fairy was talking to her and said, oh, you want to see us? Go take a picture of this leaf and then you can see us. She takes a picture of a leaf with her camera, looks at the picture and says, this is just a picture of a leaf, out loud to the fairy who she's in communication with. And the fairy says, oh, ho, 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 look again. And she looks again, and there's somehow, after the fact, on her digital camera, a family portrait of them. They have, the Fae, it would appear, as interdimensional entities, have learned quite a few tricks in the millions of years they've been around, not the least of which is how to come in and out of dimensions in various forms, but also they've learned technology. And in effect, they can kind of, because all tech, like even the phone or this call, is all just ones and zeros, and all those ones and zeros are just positive or negative electrical charges being stored in a medium, and that medium was dug up out of the ground, and fairies are of the earth, and they are the energy that animates the earth and everything on it and in it and around it, not just the living things, but the computer in your hand has the ability to be accessed by the fairies, which is why they can do stuff with audio, do stuff with video, and this is also why they can do stuff, I think, what you're talking about, which is having eyes in the picture but not in front of you. It's all trying to show you the lessons of the paradox, which is nothing is in fact real. Most of it is representation, if not all of it is representation. Like you think you're eating that food, but it's really just a representation of energy. You think you're drawing a picture, but you're really energy drawing energy, and none of it is real or not real at the same time. They're extremely good gift givers, I keep saying. Does this make any sense as I'm rambling on? I know you're listening, but does it make any sense or help you?
Yeah, it does. It does. It also, this is kind of stupid, but it kind of makes me think like, damn, was that thing like watching me like walk around like like coming out the shower?
Oh yeah, I've had the same, like, is Grimble Grumble watching my porn. Trust me, I know the feeling. The answer that I'll offer is they know your heart. That's what they really care about.
That's good.
So, you're a human, you're going to do your human shit, but it really, with these guys, these interdimensional motherfucking fairies, it's all about the heart. You know what's really funny? I'll just offer this. When I started this show, I was like, what did people see? I would like to know what people saw. Now you're listening to me, I sound like, oh, they know your heart, and like, they love you. But honestly, if you could understand the journey of 50 plus episodes that has taken me to get to the point where I can talk to you like this, it would make a lot more sense. So hopefully when you listen back, it isn't just this call tonight that helps you. It's listening to everyone and all of it. That's why I can even offer that I think any of this stuff. And by the way, for everyone listening, especially yourself, Jane, I don't know. I'm just a guy who saw a fairy one time. I'm just doing my best to help everybody connect the dots while I connect them at the same time. Hence the name of the show, Fascinating Fae. I'm feeling myself like doing the podcast host job, but really I just want to be a person here for you. Do you have any other questions about how you're feeling or anything else that I can offer? Otherwise I'll do podcast questions as we wrap up, if that's cool with you.
No, I don't have any more questions.
Okay. Straight up, this is a rad conversation, and I'm really glad that you decided to have it with me. Thanks again. I mean that. I'm sincere about that. Thanks, Jane. Here's what I ask every single person who comes on this show. And there's no right answer, and there's no wrong answer. And it's a simple question, and I just want to hear what you think. What do you think fairies are?
Well, now I think they're fucking real. And before, I kind of thought that they were a fantastical thing that were, just pagan mythology. Maybe they're real, but they're not like, I also kind of like always felt and thought that the supernatural, you can feel it, but you don't see it. Because I always had experiences like as a kid where like you get pushed out of bed, or in church services, and there are experiences like this that are very real, where like when people fall to the floor, but it's like more exaggerative on the TVs, but it does happen. So I came from the idea like, oh, it's just something you feel, you don't see it, it's not that tangible. So now I think that fairies are not only they're fucking real, but they're tangible. They could probably come up and touch me, and they could probably think I would rather them not. I would very much rather them not fucking touch me any of my shit. But yeah.
That's a great answer to that question. Unfortunately, they can touch you. They can touch your shit. They can do whatever they want. They can come right through the walls. A joke that often I make, but usually not at the end of the podcast, is just make sure that anything loose around you is firmly stowed away when you're talking to me on this show, because a number of people have had stuff go flying around. And again, what does that mean? Does that mean that they are real? Or does that mean that this is not real? Very interesting to contemplate. But all of it is permissive and a gift to anyone listening who chooses to connect with it about the limitless potential of your own life, which is really the message that the Fae have imparted into this show, even though I started it off just trying to ask if anyone had seen one. It's totally morphed into like a feel-good revival where it's like, you can do it, it's possible, everything is magical, check it out. But it's not like wrapped up in a shiny present with a bow. It's a gift with a bunch of thorny, difficult to wrangle with sharp edges that, is hard to swallow. It's a fairy gift. They're perfect in a way. That's my take on tonight. I feel very privileged to have been able to do this episode creation process with you here tonight. It's a first for the show and a first for fairy podcasting. I'm sure of it. I'm going to tell you, I won't delete that picture personally, but I will never share it if you don't want me to. I just really got to keep looking at that thing after we're done talking here. It's very... the second I opened it, I was like, oh, I wanted to puke with goosebumps. The stance on that thing is totally weird. I'm still very impressed that you were able to eat your spaghetti in the same room with that thing.
Yeah, and the fear really came in, and now, because earlier I was like, hey, listen, I'm not gonna take a picture, I'm not gonna share it, I'm not gonna take any videos, all right? I'm just gonna let you rock, have a good night, and I did. Then I did. Now I feel like now they're gonna piss in my shoes, or they're gonna do something,
Again, if they do escalate with you, my best advice is to just tell them, enough. I'm a person. I know you're here. I get it. Do you want to help? And because that's all that they really want, is to reach you. And they're legendary for their support of creatives. Legendary. So if you got them as friends and you're a creative, it's not a bad thing. Can end up being one of the best things that ever happened to you if you allow it. I'm paraphrasing from the conversations I've had and my external observer's perspective. I don't know. I'm not an artist. I make this podcast and it's doing really well. That's kind of fairy-fied in its own way, but it sounds to me like you're a real illustrator, creator, character designer, and creative, and just, it's no surprise to me. Probably a lot of people listening will also mirror this lack of surprise that a fairy is showing up at a art residency to you specifically. Thanks for letting me be part of it. It means a lot to me. I'm going to do some really brief housekeeping, and then you're going to have last words before we go. Just a reminder, we won't actually be hanging up, but just for the episode process. Okay. Well, first of all, everybody listening, you've been listening tonight to Fascinating Fae. I'm your host, Jim. If you would like to have a conversation with me because you have just been visited by a brown, matte, substance-covered fairy in your art residency, or otherwise have one around and you want to talk to me about it on the show, the email address to do that is encounters@fascinatingfae, or if you want to hit that more real time and actually get me, shoot me a DM on Reddit, Instagram, or Facebook, all of which is at Fascinating Fae. Stay tuned as to whether or not there's liner notes for this episode with a picture of this thing. That's at your discretion again, my friend, and I really do mean that. With that sentiment offered, I will say the final things before your last words here tonight, Jane, which is that on behalf of all of our human and non-human listeners and that winged brown fairy in the plant over there who are tuned in to Fascinating Fae tonight, a super big thanks to Jane from the United States for coming on the show. Jane, wow, thanks for being here. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Glad I could share my plant creature with you all. So yeah.
Look at all the little people, once we all were one of them. But time has come and carried us far away from them. It's funny what we do remember, the mind works in witty ways. never fails to amaze again and again. When you wake up 50 years from now, be not surprised when you wonder how you got so far along the road so fast. Life is weird and wonderful, the thick and thin, the push and pull, through it all, we need to make it last. Look at all the other people, once we will be one of them. Time will take us by the hand and guide us to the end. Forget me not, the aged cry, through silent sounds and weary eyes. Hear my tale before I die, I just need a friend. And when you wake up 50 years from now, you're not surprised when you wonder how you got so far along the road so fast. Life is weird and wonderful, the thick and thin, the push and pull, through it all, we need to make it last. When you wake up 50 years from now, be not surprised when you wonder how you got so far along the road so fast. And life is weird and wonderful, the thick and thin, the push and pull, through it all, we need to make it last.